Let's try number 8 here. This is the integral from 1 to 5 of x over square root of 2x minus 1 dx. Again, we see in this case our inner function 2x minus 1 is the same degree as our outside function, which is x. So we're going to do things a little differently, but we start the same way. U is going to be our inner function, so u is 2x minus 1, which means that du is 2 dx. Now, there's no way that I'm going to rearrange things so that I end up with x dx here, right? So what I do is I say, okay, dx is going to be 1/2 du. That way, I've taken care of the dx. I've taken care of the square root of 2x minus 1. That's just the square root of u. That just leaves me with x to figure out. And I'll do that by essentially moving things around with this original substitution that I did. I get 2x equals u plus 1, and that means that x equals 1/2 u plus 1. Alright, so I do my substitution. I don't worry about the limits again. Some people like to change the limits. I feel like that's just an extra complication. So I've got the integral of 1/2 u plus 1 divided by the square root of u du. Right, so this is 1/2 u plus 1. This is the square root of u. This is 1/2 du. Oops, I forgot my 1/2. Okay, so I'm gonna clean that up a little bit so that I can do some easier integration. I end up with 1/4 u plus 1 times u to the negative 1/2 du. I'll distribute this outer u to the negative 1/2, and I'm going to actually pull the 1/4 out of the integral because I don't know, that's just how I like to do it. You can always do that. You can always pull a scalar outside. So I end up with u to the 1/2 plus u to the negative 1/2, right? That's the product of my distribution, du. And then I get 1/4, and I'm going to end up with 2/3 u to the 3/2 plus 2u to the 1/2. Right, that's the antiderivative. And now that I've got the antiderivative, I'll go back and I'll say, okay, u, that was 2x minus 1. I'll substitute that in. So I end up with 1/4 times 2/3 2x minus 1 to the 3/2 plus 2 times 2x minus 1 to the 1/2. And now is where I come back and I put my limits of integration back in 1 and 5. So I'm going from 1 to 5. Put those back in. So I end up with 2/3 2x minus 1. So 2 times 5 minus 1 is 9. So 9 to the 3/2 plus 2 times 9 to the 1/2 minus 2/3 times 2 times 1 is 2 minus 1 is 1. So 2 times 1 to the 3/2 plus 2 times 1 to the 1/2. And that's just a matter of I'll just clean this up a little bit. 9 to the 3/2, remember that's the square root of 9, which is 3 to the 3rd, which is 27. So 2/3 times 27, that's going to be 18, plus 9 to the 1/2 is 3, so 2 times 3 is 6. I'll do it like this. 18 plus 6 minus, and then this is just 2/3 plus 2, so that's 8/3. Alright, so I end up with 1/4 times, what is that, 24 minus 8/3, and I don't remember exactly what that is, but you can figure that part out in the calculator. I'm lazy that way. Well, I guess we can say that's 6 minus 2/3. Oh, that's not so bad. 18/3. So that's 16/3. I think that's right. The last part might be wrong, but the main part I think I got. All right, so that is number 8.